I'm Mark Trahan, and this is Wassaja. How does Indian country solve problems? One way, perhaps the best way, is to create solutions that are based on a community's needs and values. This is such a story, and it starts in Alaska. We're here in Bethel, Alaska. It's a Yupik village on the Kuskokwim River in an area known as the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta. I've been here before to tell this story. Let's call it Chapter 1. It's one of those stories that all of America really should know because it represents a path to lower healthcare costs and higher quality care. A generation ago, back in the 1990s, Alaska natives faced a dental health crisis. It was a combination of several dangerous trends: too much sugar in the diet, replacing traditional foods, and an extreme shortage of dentists. One study was particularly startling. Only 20 dentists serving more than 200 villages and 85,000 people. Tooth decay was at an epidemic. About 70% of children under 14 had dental caries, a bacterial process that causes decay, and more than 90% of adolescents showed the disease. Recruiting dentists to Alaska, to rural Alaska, to places like here in Bethel, and especially in the villages beyond, proved impossible. So Alaska natives did something radically different. Started a training program to create oral health care professionals. 6 students traveled to New Zealand in 2003 for a 2-year training program to become dental health therapists. That's half the time it takes to train a dentist, and at a cost that's significantly less. These highly trained mid-level professionals work under the supervision of dentists. They do restoration and preventative services, dental exams, fillings, teeth cleaning, sealants, and simple tooth extractions, basic stuff. Dental health therapy gave access to oral health services to villages that had gone without. A success story.
My name is Janette Ulak. I'm from Scammon Bay, Alaska, on the southwest coast of Alaska. I started off as a primary dental health aide in our village. I mainly saw kids K through 12, but I had other plans to join the military. So I worked as a dental assistant in the Air Force for 8 years, and I lived in Texas. I came back to Alaska, and I realized I didn't want to leave again. So my transition from coming out of the military and applying to this program worked out perfectly fine. So the job opportunity was there, I took it, and I got out of the military on a Friday, and I started school on a Monday.
My name is Gabriel King, and I am part-time employee with KYK Broadcasting, which is Bethel Broadcasting Incorporated.
And you're here today to see a dental health professional.
Yes, I am. I'm here. I'm excited about this program that gives our students the education they needed, and I see that the students here are highly motivated to get the education in dental, and I am a part of that recipient, and I enjoy their work.
My name is Jason Meekum. I'm from Milwaukee, Oregon. I'm a member of the Coquille Indian tribe from Coos Bay, Southern Oregon, and I got interested in the DHAT program through my tribe. I got a letter in the mail asking if there were participants who were willing to go up to Alaska to learn how to become a dental health aide therapist and come back to the tribe and help get a dental program going. I'm not going to be getting the program going. I'm just going to be practicing DHAT in Coos Bay for the Coquille Indian tribe.
We're like a PA, PA to an actual doctor. That's how I see it. And we're focused on this limited amount of stuff that we can do. So, that's all we focus on. Whereas, a dentist, they have this wide variety of stuff that they have to do. So, I think working on our primary focuses, it helps us, to keep practicing it. We get good at it. I think we get very good at it. And the work that we do allows dentists to actually go out and do major stuff, you know, the bigger stuff that we can't do.
You told me this morning you'd rather see them than a dentist.
I prefer seeing them because they are more thorough. To me, in my opinion, they're very, very thorough in their examinations, and they do all the assessments on you, like blood pressure and so forth, medication, and they do take their time examine you, and they would tell you if you need any kind of dental work, fillings, extractions, or whatever. I prefer fillings, please.
When the PA program first started back, I think it was like after Vietnam War, they had all the corpsmen that came back, and they had nothing to really do with them, so they decided to come up with this new program for a PA, you know, and when they first started that, they met the same kind of resistance that we've been experiencing through the whole DHAT program, you know, so people don't think we're qualified enough to do what we do, but we are. We're very highly trained individuals.
The stuff we do out there, a lot of it mainly is we try to focus on preventative stuff, you know, to prevent decay from, you know, happening. And it's successful. It's very successful. So, you know, once I go out there, I'm hoping to try to start one of these programs and, you know, make an impact, you know, see results.
I was originally born on the Yukon River below St. Mary's, Pickus Point, Alaska. My parents moved the whole family from Mountain Village, Alaska to Bethel, Alaska in the 60s. This kind of service is much needed in the villages. During my tenure as a dental assistant with PHS at the time and YKHC, I have seen a lot of baby bottle mouth decay, and it's vital that we have these programs available for the people in the villages. It's an important program, and I believe I've seen a lot of improvement in dental care and personal dental hygiene throughout the YK Delta.
For the people in remote Alaska, this program is amazing. It's because it's so hard to get a dentist to go to a remote village to give care. And when they do go to give care into the remote villages, they're only there for a short period of time. So, and what they usually do is just see the most extreme cases that are in the village. And then due to that situation, everybody else gets kind of pushed aside, you know. So somebody who has a simple cavity, if the dentist only comes once a year for a 2-week period, you know, they're not going to see that simple cavity. And then when the dentist comes back maybe a year later, that cavity is blown into a full-on abscess, you know, and then that tooth has to be extracted. So most of those, it seems to be on like the little children, the kiddos. So if we could, you know, having a DHAT in a village, you know, to help give care to these people for just the simplest things makes a world of difference, you know. So, and I'm hoping that's what can happen down in Oregon as well, you know. And with me going back to my community, where I know the people there, I'm hoping that they would feel more comfortable coming to see me because I have more of a personal relationship with them instead of just some person who shows up to say, hey, I need to fix your teeth. You know? So coming from me, it should hopefully will mean a lot more to them. So.
That whole idea of taking people from the community, giving them the skills they need, with the idea that they will stay. They won't be going off to Chicago or New York or somewhere.
It would be totally up to them. If they successfully complete this program, they're, you know, free to do whatever. And if they want to shift around the state, that's good. But I believe they're here to stay, as opposed to the TDY dentists that do come up. They're on contract basis. They're here for a couple of years, and then boom, they're gone. But I believe deep down in my heart, these students are going to go back to their communities, and I'm here for them to learn as well.
I love the dental field. I've been in the dental field since 2006, and I don't see myself like moving away or, you know, finding other jobs. But I really love this. I love what I'm doing, and I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful for the DHATs that are out there, for this program especially. And, you know, I'm looking forward to helping and serving my people. I would love to eventually go back to Scammon Bay, but as long as I'm out there, you know, making a difference, being a role model, helping my people most of all, it means like a lot.
What does it mean to take a program that was originally just to be an Alaska thing and see it expand to tribes in the South?
Oh, I think it's pretty good, you know, because some areas don't have a dental clinic, you know, some tribes don't have dental care, you know, so for us to be able to come up here and learn and to take the knowledge that we've gained down to Oregon or anywhere else in the lower 48 where this program is hopefully going to expand to, it's a great thing, you know, so people need care, we want to give care, and I just want to help people, you know.
The world should know that these programs can be available worldwide, not only in Alaska, but also in other rural communities where dental work is needed. Good dental hygiene is very important because of our subsistence lifestyle. We do eat a lot of native foods, and teeth are important. Our teeth are important.
This story is about success, but it's not without conflict. The American Dental Association was dead set against a mid-level dental practice. The dentist lobbyists even inserted language into the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act to try and make sure that no other Native group would build a similar program. The Dental Association said the mid-level practice was not safe. A few years ago, I was in Bethel with a group of dentists. They wanted to learn and understand how the dental health therapists work. They peppered them with questions. They watched their technique. The dentists walked away impressed. Since then, there have been lots of studies about the program, and the data confirms the very success that we see. Children in this region today have lower rates of tooth extractions and more preventative care. Think about that. In one generation, a community went from having one of the highest rates of dental disease in the world to one that's often cavity-free. That takes us to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about innovation and excellence. The mid-level practice of oral health professionals did just that. It created experts who live and serve in their villages. But what are the broader lessons? How could similar programs work in other specialties, such as behavioral health? The answer came from a surprising place, a private university in Anchorage.
My name is Martha May Gates Gould Lee. I'm Athabascan Indian from the interior. My mom's family's from Nikolai. So I grew up in the interior. I grew up during a time when we had boarding schools. The villages didn't have high schools. And so how compliant we were, we would just get a ticket in the mail, and then you would go to Chemawa and Oklahoma, or you get to go to Edgecombe, or you could go to Fairbanks or Anchorage. Mine was for Dillingham. And at that time, we had been a very marginalized family, and because of alcohol, and my family had broken up, so I was a product of children's home. I went to the children's home in Queethlook with my brother and sister. And then aunties had taken us in, and by the time I was in 8th grade, I had foster parents, and they were teachers. And so they got stationed in Southwest Alaska, and I got to go to high school in Dillingham. And that's where I met my first husband, Dennis Gould. And Dennis's great uncle was Peter Gordon Gould, who started Alaska Methodist University, which is here, which later became Alaska Pacific University. So that's the history there, and Gould Hall still exists. And I got to meet Peter and his wife Ethel, wonderful people, and a real heart for the Native people of Alaska. So I think its new venture, being a tribal college, will be successful. I'm very hopeful.
Gordon Gould founded the university. He's Alaska Native. He's from Unga. Unless someone can tell me differently, it's probably the first university founded by an Alaska Native or Native American in the country, in the United States. And you read his writings from the 1950s prior to this starting, it had a very Alaska focus. He specifically says Alaska Native youth who are leaving to go to higher education, 95% of them aren't coming back. This is 1953 when he's making the justification for this university. And in a lot of ways, I don't think it's radically different from its origins, though. To me, it's full circle back to its origins. So it's almost like it drifted away, and this partnership and affiliation, one triggered by financial strain and troubles related to that, but also, to me, it's a re-envisioning back to why it was founded.
My name's Tina Woods. I'm the Senior Director of Community Health Services at the Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium. I'm also a Board of Trustees for the Alaska Pacific University. I smile when I talk about APU as a tribal college, tribal university in the future, because I pursued my education and I'm the first in my family and, one of few, if not the first from my small village of 500 people to obtain a doctoral degree. And it was hard. It was, there were many times that I wanted to quit at another university. There were many things that I wish could have been different. And so here at APU, being able to take a look at the curriculum and to infuse cultural responsiveness in how we teach students. When I was teaching at another university, I used talking circles to teach my classroom. And some of the students would walk in and they'd freak out seeing the room in a circle rather than in rows. And I had the ability to explain this is just a different way of learning. And so I really believe in indigenous knowledge, and I feel like APU is going to, into the future, this is going to be a huge opportunity.
I think it really started with the dental therapy program, and the ability to work in a close partnership with a tribal college we saw as a huge benefit. And so at that same time, Alaska Pacific University brought about the consideration to consider doing a tribal college within a university model. And so they invited Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium leadership to participate in that consideration. And so as we were considering that, we had the American Indian Higher Education Consortium come up here and do a feasibility, desirability study. And there's a huge support for having a tribal university in Anchorage. And they felt feasible, whether it was a branch campus or satellite campus, Philosophic, or starting new, or Alaska Pacific University. So that was the initial consideration. From an ANTHC leadership perspective, the feeling was having a tribal college within a university would not be desirable. They felt if you're going to do a tribal college or a tribal university, it starts with governance. And so discussion then turned to, is Alaska Pacific University willing to take the steps needed to turn its direction towards becoming a tribal university?
My background is a clinical psychologist, and so the behavioral health aid program, which is basically the last develop of the health aid programs, with our partnership with Ilosavik Tribal College, behavioral health aides are entering, and they are going to, in 2 years, they will have a level 2 certification. They'll also have an associate's degree from Ilosavik Tribal College, which translates over to APU if the student would like to continue on for a bachelor's degree. APU offers a bachelor's, master's, and doctoral level psychologist. And so these students can remain at home in their villages and obtain an education all the way up to the doctorate level and remain home and practice in their own community.
Alaska Pacific University is working on a pathway that will allow the health aides to take the certificate they get when they complete all 4 levels of the health aide training. They get an Associate of Applied Sciences. And they're working on making that part of a pathway that they can take 2 or 3 different directions, possibly into nursing, a mid-level profession such as PA or nurse practitioner, medical school, administration and healthcare. There's different pathways they're looking at that they could use it, that they could go beyond just working as a health aide in the village if they'd like. The health aides were the original health providers in the villages. They were established officially in 1968, but they were working before that. They were originally established to help with the TB epidemic. The health aides are largely local people that stay on in the village, and that's part of the greatest strength, is that they know the patients know them. And we're seeing more and more that are going on to a higher professional level of medical care, but the health aide is still extremely, it's the front line of care for rural Alaska.
There is some pushback that behavioral health aides are limited in their competency, but even myself as a doctorate level individual, I still need supervision, I still need consultation, and so what's really important is, as these individuals matriculate through their level 1, 2, 3 and practitioner, that we continue to provide them support, clinical supervision, consultation, and ongoing training, and CEUs.
Time and time again, you hear, yeah, they send us away to get education, and we get a Ph.D. and we come home, and there are no jobs. These are actually education jobs designed to keep you there.
They are. The health aid program is, we always refer to it as growing our own. These are individuals that have been born and raised in the community that want to be employed in a job that's meaningful and can, we consider our health aides change agents. You know, they're not only getting a certification to provide dental, behavioral, and primary care, but these are individuals that become role models for others to seek training and to give back to the people and to remain at home.
The health aides, they have a job whether they go further to educational attainment or not. They'll have a job throughout that, and I think we can parallel the health aid programs in other education pathways where they're employed and working and getting the education at the same time, and that we can flex as a university depending on the job demands.
So tell me about the art program. You teach art next door?
Yes, we are teaching now. It's just beginning last Wednesday, and it'll continue on for the rest of May as a very intense mask carving set of classes.
3 days a week, 2 hours a night. They wanted someone that would, sort of transform it into an indigenous art space. And that's our goal, is to get Native artists in here to take classes and also to do their own work,
Our students are from all over, from the lower states.
Even from Hawaii. There's one student from Hawaii who has carved canes, walking sticks, I think, and he studied carving in Hawaii, and Dr. Anders said that he needed to meet Joe and learn from Joe, which was great. And other students talk about their heritage. Joe reminded them that we can all learn from each other. They can teach us, and we can hopefully teach them something about carving and about our story, not history, but our own story, and how they fit into that as they learn more about their culture and who they are as individuals.
Education for Alaska Native people has always been broken. And it has a long ways to go before it can be quote unquote fixed. And people say Native families don't care about education. We're passionate about education. But when you marginalize us with microaggressions and you tell us we're not as good as you, that somehow we're not as smart, and our families don't care to help us with homework and all of that, that sends a message that we don't belong in this system. And it starts in preschool. Dropouts don't start out in high school and just say, oh, I'm going to drop out. it starts when they first walk into that school building. And do they feel like they're part of the community? Do they feel like they belong? Do they feel valued? Are they heard? You can answer that. You know our Native kids aren't. But I think being a tribal college, that excites me very much. And I think if it's done right, it's an avenue for Alaska Native people, a road, a map to get through the system and to do it our way and to do it with competence. And I'm very excited to meet, as Elmer Rasmussen said, Alaska's greatest untapped potential is its Native people. And I think that's what APU has the potential to tap that.
Alaska Pacific University is reinventing higher education for the Alaska Native community. Its focus is practical, and it builds on the rich tradition of tribal colleges. I've seen this in action with the dental professionals. They have a commitment to serving that's based on community, not just earning the big bucks. But I should add, these are good-paying jobs. Time and time again, people have told me they would rather see their health provider than a dentist. The service is that much better. Look for the same kind of change at Alaska Pacific University. Higher education that is reformed in order to serve communities. Innovation and excellence. Now those are two stories to tell, again and again. I'm Mark Trahant, and this is Wassaja.
Till they see the world through your eyes.